Hello my peculiars and welcome back or welcome to my peculiar corner if you are new here. My name is Andy and here we are at yet another magical encounter. I hope your week went well and everything is according to your plans and you are ready for another amazing weekend. Now this week we are going to continue with the historical notebooks, that's how the collection is called, and we are going to dive into the Egypt mythology with the beautiful history of Cleopatra. I really love this series and I hope you are enjoying it too. Last week we had Charles Dickens, but yeah, without further ado, let's crack on with the show. Here I am back from the Peculiar Library with the beautiful copy of Cleopatra, the Last Pharaoh. Now we have the same format, we have a magnetic cover and let's see what do they say on the back. Cleopatra, fair Egypt, bountiful land, I am your queen, your goddess, at once your servant and your master. I am Cleopatra, daughter of kings and mother of future kings. I set down my life in writing here, as I set down my life in war. If victory evades us, then, as befits a Ptolemy, I must sacrifice my life. Cleopatra VII ruled Egypt more than 2000 years ago, yet she is still remembered today as a powerful queen, a little temptress and a glamorous icon. Discover her sumptuous world as she fights to protect her country under the shadow of the Roman Empire during a time of betrayal and murder. With fictional extracts of memoirs she might have written at the end of her life, Cleopatra, the Last Pharaoh, explores the truth behind the immortal image of this iconic woman. This book was released by Templar Publishing for £14.99. Now, obviously, I got mine on a second hand, but I really do not remember how much I paid for it. But I remember I ordered it from worldofbooks.co.uk because I got this one together with Marco Polo and Charles Darwin together. They were all three. Anyway, let's dive. Just look at all these beautiful designs. We have the here and here we go. Of course, the book is full of removables and excerpts and so on. Like here, for example, we have a genealogical tree, and then here we have some letter. Now again, if you want, just feel free to pause, and read everything. Here we have Lady of Legend, and we have, for example, something about different versions of her story, bad press, some making history. Here we have some beautiful art as well. And here it says, Cleopatra is the most famous woman in history. She lived her life in the headlines of her day as Queen of Egypt, the richest person in the world, and mother to the children of the Roman Empire's greatest leaders. Stories about Cleopatra have remained popular for more than 2000 years, but are any of them really true? Who was this woman with the very famous name? And here we even have commercials for Cleo, Queen of Sparkling Drinks, Cola, Cleo Cola. Then here we have Proud Heritage. We have some information about Alexander the Great, and then a beautiful map of Egypt. And here we have the Empire of Alexander the Great map. As I said, this book is full of extras that makes the experience of reading it even more interactive. Again, feel free to pause and read. Here we have, for example, the Pharaohs, the lighthouse the lighthouse that guided sailors to the harbors at Alexandria was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Completed by Ptolemy II in 278 before Christ, the pharaohs reportedly stood more than 30 meters tall. And then we have Royal Childhood from 69 to 50 before Christ. Here we have something about the Roman Empire. Again, pause and read if you would like. And then we have different information here. The palace household, learning to be the queen, and of course her royal childhood. Then the last pharaoh, 51 to 48 BC. Then here we have about Egyptian religion. Of course we have some of the gods and goddesses. So we have Amun, Anubis, Hathor and Osiris. Some hieroglyphs. Female pharaohs. Types of crowns. Then we have love in wartime from 48 to 47 BC. Here we have an illustration of Caesar. Then we have Caesar's queen, 46 to 45 BC. And again, we have a beautiful map of the Roman Empire of Julius Caesar. And depictions of a Roman triumph. Here we have Venus. Then Murder Most Foul, from 44 to 42 BC. Beware the Ides of March. Caesar's will. Then we have about Cicero, cutting words from Antony's speech in Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare, Act 3, Scene 2. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me, but Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. Antony does not openly criticize Brutus and the other conspirators, but his sarcastic repetition of the word honorable makes his true feelings quite clear. Then here we have Caesar's longest legacy, the calendar. Then we have Enchanting Antony, 40 and 41 BC. Here we have something about Octavian, 63 BC to 14 AD. Then we have about the Egyptian hairstyles. And here we have an empire restored, 39 to 35 BC. Here we have a map of Cleopatra's empire. And the purple part, it's Cleopatra's empire at its height. Then we have something about the Egyptian jewelry. The Great Festival in the year 34 BC. Roman Revulsion, here some self-naming of Pharaoh's prerogative and a beautiful illustration. Here we also have Queen Nefertari, wife of Ramses II, making an offering to the goddess Isis. The war with Rome, 33 to 32 BC. There is a lot of history in the pages of this book, like in all the historical notebooks. So it's not only that, you know, it's visually pleasant, the book, but it's full of information and you can really learn by yourself or with your kids. And as it is interactive, like for example, if they would, you know, introduce this in schools, I think that kids would learn much more. Here we have the defeat and retreat, 31 BC. The naval battle at Actium, the price of surrender. Here we have a warrior, pharaohs, depictions. Then we have a suicide pact, 30 before Christ. Here we have something about becoming Augustus and the Egyptocapta. The Roman takeover of Egypt was celebrated on coins issued by Augustus that had an image of a crocodile, a symbol of Egypt in chains. Here we have a bit about mummification and the stages of mummification. And here we also have the poppy seed. And it says, and so it came that I walked willingly into my own mausoleum. My feet followed the path, but my heart railed against the ways of the world. My tomb is fit for a queen. I'm surrounded by the great treasures of my family. May fire and water destroy them before they are found by those greedy senators of Rome. My faithful handmaids, Iras and Charmian, serve me to the last. Here we have Cleopatra's legacy, beauty or intelligence, immortal woman. And here we have a note from Cleopatra. Dear children, the future of my heart. Read of my life when you are grown, so that you might understand why I leave you. Let your every heartbeat remind you of the royal blood that courses through your veins. You are Ptolemies, kings, queens, gods, goddesses, and all Egypt is yours. I give you life, and I take my own, so that the glorious fire of the Ptolemies may burn brighter. This gentle death rewards my labor, saving me from the thousand deaths that would await me as the golden trophy of Octavian's cruel victory. And so our future falls to you. You are protected by wisdom and courage, driven by pride and passion. I have taught you all I know. Cleopatra. And with this, we end this book. Now, I really enjoy, going through these books with you. Again, I am discovering a lot. As I said, I discovered this collection by mistake, and I'm very happy, you know me, that I love this kind of books that are interactive. Also, not only, you just open and read, but you have a lot of excerpts and such documents, letters, from history and from the life of the person that the book describes. And also it will always remind me, of course, of the Ology series, which I think it's a gem in its own in the world of books. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this week's video, and until next week, don't forget two very important things: stay magical, stay peculiar, always. Bye for now.